I lost my husband a year ago in a road accident. I'm a single mother living with my son, who is in the second year of primary school. We don't come from a wealthy family, and we really struggle to make ends meet. I am working, though I have a part-time job. Early this December, my son said to me, "I'm going to ask Santa to give me a Nintendo Switch for Christmas." He was so enthusiastic about Christmas that I could say little more than, "Oh, really? Well, isn't that great?" I didn't really know what a Nintendo Switch was or how much it cost, so it wasn't until a little later on that I found out it would be incredibly difficult to get it for my son for Christmas. I couldn't face letting him down, though. I couldn't tell him that he wasn't going to get one for Christmas that year. Every time I considered it, I could just picture his eyes filled with hope and excitement, turning to eyes filled with tears. We had such a tough year, and he missed his father so much that I really wanted to do something nice for him, but I knew deep down that I couldn't afford to. I ended up putting off telling him that he wasn't getting his Switch until Christmas Day, partly because I was trying to pick up as many shifts as I could in the slim hope that I might just have enough extra money. But also, partly because I didn't have the heart to spoil the magic of the holidays for him. I planned on explaining it to him when I woke him up, planned on apologizing to him. So, when I woke up Christmas morning, I rushed straight into my son's bedroom to let him know the news. He was awake, so I immediately tried to apologize. But just as I opened my mouth to speak, my son spoke first. "Mom, look, I got a present from Santa Claus." He then held up the game console. It was the Nintendo Switch that he asked for. I stood there completely aghast and utterly confused. I was unable to speak for a while, just allowing my mouth to hang open in shock. How the hell did he have that? My son then asked, "Mom, are you all right?" And that brought me back to my senses. I didn't know what to say, so for the time being, I said, "Oh well, that's so great." And then I went downstairs to get breakfast started. All the while, I was frantically thinking about how the hell any of this could be possible. It's only us who live in the house. I didn't buy it, and my son doesn't have a ton of pocket money saved up or anything like that. The Nintendo Switch isn't exactly cheap either, so I knew for a fact that there was no way he had the money for that. I mean, what second grader would? With that possibility eliminated, I had to think of another. Was my son shoplifting? That didn't seem that plausible either. I don't think he would have been capable of getting that thing out of the store without at least one member of staff noticing or an alarm going off. Plus, there was one other thing to consider. There was some wrapping paper at the foot of his bed. I noticed it when I turned to leave. Did someone break in? I went around the house and checked all the doors and windows, and they were all locked and shut. I didn't know how that present got in the house. After breakfast, I got ready for work, and when I was about to leave for my part-time job, I noticed something jutting out of the mailbox. There was a Christmas card from an unknown sender, and all that it said was, "Merry Christmas, son, from the real Santa Claus." I don't know how it happened. I don't know who did it, but I had tears brimming in my eyes as I ran back in to hug my little boy. It was like someone was watching over us. I don't know who I should thank for that Christmas miracle, but to whoever it was, know that I am eternally grateful. This incident occurred in my hometown, situated in the countryside. I have since relocated, and, to be honest, I cannot say that I miss it. In our family, there was an old-fashioned storehouse-like building next to our house, which we used for storage. We stored Christmas decorations, tree cut-offs, old cans of paint, and various other items there. One cold December morning, my dad asked me to fetch the box of Christmas decorations from our backyard. I exited the kitchen door, descended beside the garden, and walked up to the storehouse. I always found the storehouse a bit creepy, especially since it had no windows to let in natural light, making it eerie even during the day. That morning, there was something different about the storehouse, giving me an uneasy feeling. It felt like I shouldn't be there, as if my gut was telling me I wasn't alone. Despite being young, I sensed something strange but proceeded to unlock the door with the key. To my surprise, the door wasn't locked, probably because I used it last for my bike. As I stood by the door, contemplating, I was worried my bike might not be there. However, it was, and as I entered, using the natural light to find the decorations, I noticed something off near the Christmas tree. A part of it was covered by a black bin bag, and next to it was something pink that resembled skin. Staring longer, I realized it looked like someone's hand. Confused and frightened, I followed the hand upwards and locked eyes with a person hiding in the storehouse. I should have heeded my gut feeling and never entered, but hindsight is powerful. The person froze, and I couldn't move either. Then he spoke in a rough voice, saying, "Hey kid, come here." I saw more of his face as he emerged, looking with a graying beard. That's when I ran, screaming for my dad. My dad rushed downstairs, and I explained what I saw. He went to the storehouse, but the creepy guy was already gone, likely having hopped the fence when I ran off screaming. We discovered food wrappings and arranged clothes bags, suggesting he had been there for more than a day or two. I received a scolding for leaving the storehouse unlocked, and we became much more security conscious afterward. To this day, I feel uneasy when entering dark places alone, like attics, basements, and garages. It became a creepy Christmas memory for our family, fortunately one we can now laugh about. This happened when I was a child. We lived out in the middle of nowhere pretty much. Our family home was surrounded by rice paddies and fields. This was in stark contrast to where my mother's side of the family came from. My mom, auntie, and grandparents all grew up in a pretty lively town. I mean, it wasn't anything like Tokyo or Osaka, but people from the big cities would probably laugh at me for even saying that it was a lively town. But anyways, that lively town had a convenience store and a small shopping street. There were so many modern-looking shops and stores there. I always looked forward to visiting my mom's side of the family. However, over the course of just a few years, the age of the buildings was becoming more and more noticeable. Some of the shops had their shutters down, and that lively little shopping street began to look less and less lively. It was a bit of a shame. For the Christmas period one year, there were some Christmas lights strung up high all across the streets. It was kind of like a mini illumination event. There were lights all over the park and throughout the streets. It was so pretty and nice. I heard that families from the town donated their old Christmas trees and decorations. There were pop-up stores selling hot drinks and sweet snacks. A small but warm Christmas event breathed life into that lonely area. Each year I begged my parents to take me there. I was lucky because my grandmother liked the illuminations, so we got to go often. She loved taking lots of photos, and it quickly became a Christmas time tradition for our family. However, one year, that all abruptly came to an end. There were no more illumination events in that town. I asked my parents why it was all gone, but they didn't answer me. To be honest, they might not have known the reason why. I thought that it could have been a one-off cancellation. But when December rolled around the following year, I heard that the event was cancelled again. I stopped asking about it after that year, and my family stopped mentioning it. I am now an adult, and I was recently reminded of that little Christmas tradition that we had. So when I went home to see my parents for the holidays, I decided to ask them if they knew why the event got cancelled. When I casually brought it up in conversation, my mother told me the reason why we never went back. She said it was cancelled because someone was found hanging by their neck. The Christmas lights were used as a makeshift noose. That really shocked me. Apparently, It couldn't be determined if the person did that to themselves or if it was done by a third party. Either way, Christmas never came back to that lonely little area again. And that's sad.